I saw something and it pissed me off, which made me go back and watch a certain documentary. I saw this particular video run through my timeline, and I was very, very confused.
What's up, guys? This is a big day because as of right now, Fyre Festival 2 tickets are officially on sale. It has been the absolute wildest journey to get here, and it really all started during the 7th-month stint in solitary confinement. I wrote out this.
Yeah, no one cares. So for those people who don't know who that is, that's the guy who went to jail for the Fyre Festival. Y'all remember that festival where we saw a picture of like a cheese sandwich, some tents, and people just super disgruntled. And it was all what's the guy's name? Billy? His name is Billy, right? Billy.
I don't remember, but I know we covered this when it first happened.
Oh, Billy, I got it. Billy McFarland. Billy McFarland went to jail for 4 years, I believe. It was supposed to be like 6, but 4 years for fraud, for saying, hey, this festival was coming through, and it never did. The fact that he's doing another one, and here's where it pissed me off, it's actually sold out.
Come on, man.
It's actually sold out. So I went into Netflix like, all right, let me watch the documentary, the greatest party that never happened. The reason why I watched it was because there was really, really, really good like marketing and branding lessons from it that I don't know if people really picked up. And so I had to go back and write them down because I'm like, I'm curious if he is just going to run it back again the same way, because it worked the first time. So, for example, right, like he, of course, got all the best and trending models to go to this particular island that he supposedly bought, right? The Pablo Escobar island. So he got all these with no real direction. There was not somebody who was saying, hey, we're going to do this commercial, go here, here's the different scenes. It was more of just show your life. Hello, let's show your life. And they did that strategically because they knew when the models were going to post their pictures and their videos, they were going to hashtag Fyre Festival. And now everybody's like, wait, hold on, what is this? So the power of influencers is still a real situation, even back then, because one, he did that. Two, when he announced it, he coordinated everybody to post at 5 p.m. 5 p.m., there was this post of like this orange tile, right? And it was like, coming soon, go to firefestival.com or something to that effect. But he was getting all these top influencers. He had Kendall Jenner wired her $250,000 to post about the festival, right? So the looking at that from like a launch strategy of everybody's involved, who, like, what time are we doing it? What are we posting? And are we actually investing in maybe some other influencers that have a higher reach and make them like seem as if they're interested as well, right? So that was one thing. Now, what I found very funny was the same thing that got Fyre Festival sold out, which was social media, which were posts, was the same reason why they canceled it and it became a whole disaster. So for those people who don't know the story, they did this in the Bahamas. They were supposed to do it at another island. They messed up because they weren't supposed to say Pablo Escobar island, and they did in the very first second. So they couldn't use that island no more. They found the section in the Bahamas, and it was not ready by the time all these people came to the festival. So granted, everybody's documenting things, and even though the influencers who had millions and millions of followers that made it sold out and brought so much attention to Fyre Festival. A person who had 400 followers posted a picture about some cheese sandwiches, and it went beyond viral and made them cancel the actual festival and get all this different backlash because it was, it was documented how bad it was. So people were showing videos of the tents and the horrible conditions. They were left with no food and all this crazy stuff. But it was just a one post of that sandwich that ruined everything. So it's not only how are you depicting it on social media to bring them in, is also making sure the experience is good, because the people on there can either heighten the brand or completely destroy it at the same time. So like I had to go through that documentary real quick, because I'm just like, if he's gonna run it back, what is maybe some of the lessons that he's going to take with him? One smart thing that I think you enjoy, not enjoy, but you may give him props, because he was running out of money. I don't know how he got all this money, right? But he kept running out of money. So one of the things that he did was those what was it? The contactless wallets, like those wrist things that like you hit it towards the what is it? The payment situation, and it takes your money, right? So they had these bracelets, and they said, "Hey, put money into it." People are putting 5,000, 10,000, like in the email. Sign up for your wallet, and before they're even there, right? Sign up for your wallet. People are already contributing $3,000 to $5,000 in their wallet right now. So that's how he was getting some of the money as well. Was people
to get like
already?
An upfront payment.
Yes.
Smart.
I said, we're not thinking of things like that? That's very, very interesting. So, that was dope. But then also, the need of influencers. Like some influencers will just post for the stay. So they were promised this like luxury villa situation if they posted 4 posts. If you post 4 posts, here you get this lavish villa that was never there. They had to go for a tent that had like air mattresses and cheese sandwiches. It was such a disaster. I just don't understand.
The fact that the public can come back and trust somebody again after that, it just shows, man.
Right.
Some of the good people listening to this, y'all making this too complicated sometimes.
I mean, sold out.
Don't make it so complicated. That's crazy.
So maybe, okay, in your opinion, why do you think that got sold out again?
I think people are just curious, man. First off, I think the human race is a lot more forgiving than we make them seem not to be, if that makes sense. Because like I think of other situations like, and I don't want to mention names because it's probably not the greatest example, but it's the only one that comes to mind. But I think of situations where you'd be like, yo, there's no way dude is coming back from that. Time and time again, even though it may not fully be what it once was, people are still very accepting, either because they just want to rally behind, similar to what we said, the villain, and see like, wait, but can they do it? Like, people want to see it, either to see it succeed or see it fail, but either way you're spending money, and so you're contributing, to the success of it. So I gotta say, man, I'm just looking at it from the side of all of the good-hearted people who probably overthink, their chances at success. And here's somebody who's like, listen, I know I screwed up and I did time for it, but let's come back and do it again. How about that? So
I just looked it up. I just looked it up where it said pre-sale range is $4.99 for the first 100 tickets to $7,999 for the final pre-sale.
Wow.
I'm
That's crazy.
right.
That's more than Super Bowl tickets to some extent, or for some of the Super Bowl tickets at least. Wow.
I'm so confused. Like how are we here again? How but I think for me, there's the thought of this has to go this time. Because you can't be that dumb. Right? Like I think people are looking at like you can't be that dumb to do it again.
And mess up.
Mess up. You have to come through with this. Probably also let's be real. My man came out with what? 2 documentaries after 2? There was one on Netflix, there was one on Hulu. I think the one he actually did was on Hulu. And so maybe the investors knows, oh, we're going to get coverage on this. Point blank, because then I could go, if all fails, this man is horrible. How it was probably dumb of me to believe it after he's done this before. Like they could play victim. But if it goes well, oh, they look like,
of course.
We believed in the underdog. So
it just shows how much you could get away with just by simply trying too. The fact that he came back and tried again, I think
he was in the hole for like 38 million or something like that.
That's wild.
It was a crazy amount that he was. But once again, shout out to Netflix, Hulu, all this documentary stuff because this is all documented. But I will say, from a marketing side, the team who did it is really, really dope. I wouldn't say he was the brain behind of it. There was a specific media team that did that. As far as the orange tile showing, like, and one thing that I saw was that as it got closer to the date, and this is something to put in mind as far as anybody who's doing an event or some type of launch, people were looking for updates as far as what does the site look like? Like, where is it going to be? What are the rooms going to look like? What are, is any of the performers, is there any videos of them saying that they're coming? So as things get closer, people are looking for any type of updates, and they weren't getting that. They were still getting the same, how do I say this? The same footage from that initial shoot of them announcing everything. They just sold a lifestyle of these different influencers and these models and how everything is supposed to be amazing. And then it all started to make sense to the people who were actually there. But that's something to keep in mind. Like when you announce something, how are you now revealing some type of updates? When I think about it, like let's say if we're doing a book or something, right? What are some updates that you could show? Maybe you got the first copy of the book. Maybe you are, if we're talking, which we'll get into the creator of the week, maybe you giving out the actual product or, service, showing it in real life, what people are thinking about it. So when it comes to events, the setup, the actual the venue, where is it going to be? What is the thought process? So it's if you have not seen the Fyre documentary, I think you should, just for the simple fact of those branding and marketing tactics, because it's sold out. So we can't negate that something that was an idea that did not complete actually sold out because they sold the lifestyle. So some not to really pass through. That's why I was like, oh, let me go watch this because this man's about to do it again and I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's crazy. Reminds me of the guy from WeWork. There's a really good documentary about him too, or just about the WeWork brand in general. But what happened with them. So that's another good story. Cover that next week or so.
Let us know what documentary shows on Netflix that you watched this week, because clearly we were both on the same page with this one. I mean,